lobbyists from the artificial sweetener industry wanted to take Mary, my wife, and me out to dinner. I refused. I saw those lobbyists meeting with Temple University people, and I'd spoken with those researchers from Temple, and they were going to deliver a paper at that conference on the hypothesis that artificial sweeteners made control of diabetes more problematic. And the next day, their paper was pulled, wasn't presented. So I know the power of lobbyists, the power of the artificial sweetener industry. And I've encountered that for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying that basically that I'm an idiot.
But you know what the problem is? America's a great country, but unfortunately, it's the greatest country money can buy through lobbyists. Mm-hmm. You don't get an authentic government when they're choosing money and profits over people on the planet. That's our biggest problem. Now, you saw it firsthand. We see it all the time. Not that I'm a rebel or anything, totally. I mean, I am in my own way, but
so many studies are clearly fraudulent. I tried to show that in my book. It's very, very easy to spot the fraud. The FDA looks at the number of studies that show that something is safe. Often, one single study is actually published in multiple medical journals, making it look as though there are 6 or 7 publications when in fact there was one study. Often they'll change one word in the title of the study or change the order of the sequence of the authors and then submit it multiple times. So it looks as though there's an overwhelming number of studies when in fact there might be a couple.
Wow.
and it's all for profit.
There was the reference, you are what you eat.
I began to realize that certain foods would give me comfort, certain foods would give me anxiety, and the more I looked into this, I just started looking at all the processed food in that, and I look at processed food as pharmaceutical food, and in my opinion, because all the colors, the dyes, the aspartame is in those foods, creating all these chronic illnesses, and they're creating mental disorders, and they're getting you sick with the food, and they're selling you the solution with a pill that you got to take once or twice a day. I think going back to more organic, plant-based food that doesn't have the glyphosate and you know, regenerative farming, where you're allowing things to grow naturally without man's choosing profit over people on the planet, and start choosing the people on the planet over profits, is the way forward.